Hey, y'all.
Hola, welcome to 30 Minutes Down South. She's Allison.
And he's Carlos, and we are two top producing realtors.
With two extremely different Southern upbringings.
Join us each week as we explore the Lake Murray area with our special guests. Welcome, Carlos.
To 30 Minutes Down South.
How are you today?
I'm
throwing
good.
us off here.
I'm good.
Doing the welcome.
I'm good. Yeah, I like that. You know,
like it?
I was watching one of our very old episodes, and I always started with the episode in Spanish, the episode number in Spanish.
Yeah.
It's episode número 40 y tanto, right?
Well, I have no idea what you just said, but my girls are going to be disappointed that you're not the one doing the intro, because my little one who's actually here right now, she always goes, that man says, welcome, Allison.
Now let me do it for her.
Yeah.
Welcome, Allison.
There you go.
What do we have today,
So
Allison?
today we have Mr. Nick Natale. Can say it for me?
Nick Natale.
There you go. He is a therapist in Colombia, and I'm really excited to talk to him today. He is specializing in business and life coaching.
Yep.
And I've just heard great things about him.
I've heard great things about it. He was a referral from a colleague of us, and actually, you can see it. That person has increased the productivity. I was gonna say.
Yes.
It's much better. It's much better. You can notice a difference. And we were talking about what do you do to get to that point, and Nick Natale's name came up in the conversation. And how about we start to listen? How about we hear what he has to say?
Let's listen.
And welcome, Nick Natale. How you doing today, Nick?
Doing very well, Carlos. How about you all? You guys doing all right today?
We are great. Thank you. And thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
Well, this is actually quite a bit of a sacrifice because it is absolutely gorgeous outside. I mean, nearly 70 degrees here in February the 15th. So this is actually, a lot to be indoors during a warm afternoon like this.
Well, but by judging by the background, you are in a very cool space. You did all the design behind you?
Oh, you can kind of get it done, all that kind of stuff. I can blur it out if you need to.
It's beautiful. Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about what do you do?
I am a licensed professional counselor and supervisor. I'm also a coach. I work with people from across the country, helping them become unstuck when it comes to the intersection between personal life and business success. And so I do a lot of growth stuff with individuals and companies, just kind of helping people kind of get out of their, their headspace from time to time. So for over 24 years, I've served as a counselor in various different settings, like, county mental health. And I was in the church world for a long, long time and been in private practice here in Colombia since 2013. But a lot of the work that I'm doing nowadays is about helping people become just everyday people in business, entrepreneurs, kind of get out of their heads sometimes. And so I use a variety of techniques to help people do that. And so
What is
kind of my work.
What is the most difficult part of somebody that, actually, let me start from the beginning. How can somebody tell that they need you or they don't need you? I think that that's the most important part of people out there.
I actually think that's a very good question, Carlos. The reality of it is most of us can identify just one or two things that keeps on popping up. They were about to pull the trigger on that decision and something says stop. They just could not do it. Or they have a dream inside, something they know they're good at, but they just can't push themselves into that unknown space. And so oftentimes a person will actually encounter this multiple times. It becomes almost a pattern. And so once it's identified that way, you can't unsee it. And they reach a point in their lives and they say, I have to do something about this. So it may be a mindset like, am I good enough for this? Imposter syndrome. It's a real thing a lot of people kind of encounter from time to time. Can I actually do what my customers, my business partners want me to do? So oftentimes, I will put all those things around just mindsets, limitations. And so what does it mean, for example, to embrace who you are, look inside, find the strengths that are there, and begin to activate those and leverage those strengths that you already have for the things you want to accomplish in life. So we can talk about goals all day long, and we do that in corporation all the time. We have KPIs, we have this kind of goals we want to set for our year, things we want to accomplish. But the question I often ask people, and the area I deal with, is what's keeping you from those? Oftentimes, it's not the situation, it's something within. And if we can actually unlock that, to the moon, people can really accomplish the things they really want to in life. And so that's what I do.
So how did you segue from, I guess, what I would call the mainstream thought of being a therapist to actually transitioning to what I think of more of as a life coach?
Yeah. I have worked with literally thousands of people over 24 years of being licensed as a therapist. And so, and I have seen the people who have traversed just enormous difficulties in their lives. And those individuals that are able to try to transcend that moment of adversity in their lives to begin to even leverage that adversity they overcome towards helping them accomplish their goals in the future, that is actually a sweet spot for a lot of people. And one thing I started doing pretty early in my therapeutic life is it's been again to learn from my clients. And one thing I've learned more than anything else is that we're actually very resilient. We can overcome things in our own life. And so oftentimes, I will work with people right there, they're at that cusp. They know there's an issue. They believe that there is something within that is asking them to accomplish more. And they believe that they can somewhere deep inside. But living that out sometimes requires just a little bit of help. And so, yeah. But basically, it's what I've learned from my clients over the years. And this is actually just pure fun. You ever help someone accomplish their dreams before? It's just an amazing experience.
In your experience, what's the average time that people can spend with you and start noticing changes?
Well, it's amazing because I'm working with a brand new client. I saw her for the first time as a coaching client, saw her for the first time on Wednesday. And we had met the week before, just doing some, pre-talk stuff, this kind of meeting. And we spent over the weekend kind of finalizing everything. I said, why don't you just come on to the office on Wednesday? And I said, okay, here's your goals. I love the work that you did over the weekend. You really spelled these goals out really well. Let me ask you, we're meeting, this is our first day. We're meeting today for the first time, ready to get things started, but I'm curious, what did you already start doing over the weekend for your goals? Oh, shit, her eyes lit up, and she started this naming them all already. And I was like, girl, you've already started doing this work. Most people, it just needs someone to come alongside them. They need someone to remind them what they already know inside, is that you got this. You can do this. And so it is that mindset limitations oftentimes. But Carlos, to your question specifically, though we can see change begin almost immediately, motivation can get you started, but it does take about 40 days for that motivation to really become a discipline, for it then to become a habit, for it to become become a part of your life. So I actually typically work with people for about 90 days. 90 days to transformation. It's not something I always say, but in my mind, I'm thinking about 90 days. Because the first couple of days, you're going to be excited about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've always done. We hit the gym, we start eating right, all that kind of stuff. We start doing what we need to, but it begins to just wane a little bit. Maybe we can keep it for 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. But what we actually see in the research, if you keep on going for about 40 to 45 days, we're getting through the hard part. It becomes something where you've had to struggle and you have to rely on your discipline, because when motivation is gone, you have to rely on discipline. And then that action becomes a habit and it really becomes part of your life. But the real magic begins about 45 days to that final 90-day mark. And all of a sudden, it's really a part of who they are now. But anyway, that's how I look at it.
So, Nick, what are some of the tools that you use to help people get to that point?
When you say tools, you mean prescriptions, stuff like that?
I don't. That's my question.
I am not a medical physician at all. My PhD is in theology, and I really focus on a lot of spiritual things in my life, in the life of the people I work with. But it's a great question. Some of the tools that I use is just tools designed to help allow the individual to identify, again, those limiting beliefs that may be there, that mindset blockers, those barricades that may be there. And once we start seeing them, it becomes almost impossible not to see them. I also use very precise tools to help a person really look within to help them decide what is really important to them. So we not only look at the goals they want to accomplish, but the values inside that may be motivating and driving that for a person. And so we will use a whole array of tools to help clarify values, help them begin to identify what goals and the mindset limitations that they may be aware of and not aware of, and then how to begin to break those down. And some of the tools I also use when it's appropriate is hypnosis. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, so I actually use hypnosis with some individuals to help them kind of clarify what it is that they're wanting to seek in life. And it's a powerful experience for people.
Tell me a little bit more about hypnosis. How do you learn? How do you know it is working? I've always been.
That's always intrigued me.
Yeah, since you were a kid,
I mean, for even simple things like, can you hypnotize me where I don't crave sugar anymore?
Or where I don't get old anymore.
Right. Teach my body not to age.
Oh, exactly. Well, hypnosis is essentially a focused moment in your life where you are able to leverage all of your imagination power. So I want you to see it this way. We have heard all of our lives, you must fake it until you make it, right? You must fake it until you make it. But really what's behind that statement is the reality that we must see things in order to be able to begin to achieve them. So we must see it to believe it in order to achieve it. Now, what hypnosis does is helps a person to see it clearly. It's almost like an experience. So there may be times when I'm using hypnosis to help a person to be able to see themselves clearly at the tee box and how they step up to the ball and how they hit the ball at a particular place. And it's that moment of clarity. It's like, I can see it completely. Now, I want you to imagine that's not just for a good golfer to help a person with a golf game, and it does. And I've done that before for just friends and stuff like that. But what goals shall we pursue in life? What's ultimately important for me? I can actually allow a person to go into a hypnotic state and leave them in that place where, again, focus imagination for them to begin to experience and see those things. So there's all kinds of hypnotists out there. There's a stage hypnotist, help
Mm-hmm.
you, bite into an onion and think it's an orange or something like that. And all that's real. And we can play some parlor tricks and games like that and all that kind of stuff. But the way I use hypnosis is really helping a person to kind of see things that really come alive inside of them. Because we know that truth. We must be able to believe it in order to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to be able to see it in order to begin to believe in it. Once you see yourself successful, you begin to unlock all those limiting beliefs and mindset limits I've been describing to you.
Yeah, the confidence.
Yeah.
The confidence builds up and
Yeah.
positiveness and good energy, all that. I'm a firm believer on the power of the mind. I really am. Nick,
Do you mind if I give a shout out? Right
No, go
here?
ahead.
All right. So we have an amazing world-class hypnotist in town, Dr. Frederick Mao. He's at Watermark Counseling. He's actually my mentor and my teacher. And his office is right down Columbia, maybe a quarter mile from my own.
Nick, I have to
And
ask. Have you ever tried to hypnotize each other and have like a hypnotic competition?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
See who can go first.
Who could go the deepest? Oh man, but he's an amazing friend and mentor,
Mhm.
colleague. And I just want to mention that because he's been he's been working with Clemson University and several different universities around the country. And he actually was a keynote speaker for the World Hypnosis Conference in London last year, right here in Columbia. He lives here in Columbia, Dr. Frederick Mao. You need to look him up.
We will
But anyway.
definitely do that.
How do you how do you hypnotize people? I mean, like, the image that I have, and I've never been through that, and I'm very intrigued, and I've never tried, which is kind of silly, right? You should try anything that intrigues you. But what do you use? Like, the image that I have is like a clock going to one side or the other and relax,
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
That's one technique. There's many, many other techniques that can be used. And so it's really dependent upon the individual themselves I'm working with, or even the group of people. And so, there's a variety of techniques. And that one technique is very, very powerful, but each person kind of has their own way. And that's part of the learning process, because keep this in mind. Though the hypnotist is guiding it, it's actually the person who's performing it. And so this is about your imagination. This is about the power of your own mind. And that's what makes it so amazing. Now, we can go into theatrics and things of that nature, and that's why it's always fun to go see when you go watch a hypnotist on stage. And, they will play that up. But in reality, each one of us goes in a hypnotic state multiple times a day. It's when we are driving, we didn't realize that we've already reached our destinations. We don't remember how we got there. Or we're sitting there watching TV and we're so enthralled that we're just, we kind of get that focus. Remember, hypnosis is really a focused imagination. And that's exactly what we do. How many voices or thoughts, not voices as in, psychotic, but how many thoughts do we have running through our head all at any given time? What hypnosis does is give you an opportunity to have clarity on a single thought. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's a very peaceful thing. So I work with hypnosis clinically as well as just exploratory with coaching clients and things of that nature.
Now, Nick, do you only work with adults, or do you work with children as well?
I only work with adults at this time. There was a part of my life clinically, and I was working with children. I actually see a lot of USC students that are, needing assistance in gaining clarity on what it is they're wanting to do in their life, or major, or, a family has invested a lot and they have a scholarship, and that first year at university, it may not gone as well as they wanted it to, and maybe the scholarship is in danger now or something of that nature. And so About the youngest I'll work with is late teens and in early 20s. Yeah.
Okay. I always halfway joke that every child should be assigned a therapist at birth.
Yeah, that's a
Because,
half a joke.
I mean, life is hard.
It is.
Life is hard.
It's
Life
hard.
is
And, you know, it's
But
always good to have someone to talk to who can help you, you know, put things into perspective and dial in. And it sounds like you're doing some really
And
great things with that.
we as parents are always expected to be our kids' therapists. And many times, it's just like trying to do stuff by yourself. And you might not be the best. Not because you can't or you can't give advice, but also the way they take it. I have a 13-year-old kid, and Allison has 3 kids of her own. And we agree that one of the hardest things is for the kids to really listen to us, not just hear us, just listen to what we say. And we did that when we were kids too. But
absolutely.
yeah,
One of the most amazing things that I communicate to people is I want you to remember what it was like when you were trying to learn a new skill on the ball field, ball court, or whatever. Your parents, or if you are the parent, you can go out there and try to show the child something. But one of the most powerful things that you can do is actually let someone else in their life step up, and they will listen to that other person, that coach, that friend of the family. And I actually encourage parents to utilize that dynamic. Please get someone else in their life who they will probably be willing to listen to, and don't take offense to that.
yeah,
Let them learn from that other adult. The most important thing is that they're learning and they're willing to learn. We can get in the way as parents oftentimes because we have a vested interest in getting someone to listen or to do it. But come on, allow the child to be the child, and get someone else in their life who can coach them through that.
That's good advice.
it is pretty good advice. Nick, we got parenthood, we got business-wise. I understand that you're also a sex therapist and a couples therapist.
Absolutely. I am a certified sex therapist with ASAT. ASAT is the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists. It is a certifying body, international certifying body that certifies mental health and medical professionals in the area of sexual health. And I work with couples and individuals and help them overcome sexual issues that may come up. So this could be anything related to physical intimacy that you may think of. And the answer is yes. If you can think about it, it's probably a part of the work that I do. And so I do work with individuals in this particular very sensitive area of our lives. We don't talk about enough, but it's part of who we are as people. And so physical pleasure and intimacy, emotional connectivity is all very important to me and how I communicate and work with couples. Yeah.
That's great. Well, you are, I think, a good resource for the Columbia area. And again, I just think therapy is so important for everybody. So, how can people contact you? Are you taking new patients, new clients, I guess, too, if we're looking at life skills and life coaching? How can they get in touch with you?
One of the easiest things people can do is go straight to the website, NICNATALE, that's nicknatale.com. And you can find out all the different ways to contact me there. You can also find me on Instagram, Dr. Nick Natale. That's my handle there, and I would love to begin a conversation with anyone.
That is awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Nick. Appreciate you taking your time to talk to us and to educate us about your services.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Carlos. This has been fantastic, and good luck to you. Thank you both so very much.
Thank you. Take care. Well, that was very interesting.
That was cool. That was cool. And you know what? I want to see you getting hypnotized.
Listen, I told him if he can hypnotize me to not crave sugar anymore,
No,
I'll do it in a
I don't
second.
care about the sugar. I want to hypnotize you so you can start speaking Spanish.
Can you do that?
I don't know. You know what? Maybe. There's only one way to know, Allison. Let's go get you hypnotized and see if you can learn Spanish on the
Okay,
spot.
we'll add that to our to-do list that you have for me from all of our interviews.
You know, yeah, you've not, like, you know, I was going to
We
mention.
should start having like a running board back here.
We should, you know, because I was going to mention the movie The Matrix and realize you haven't even seen it.
Sorry.
And that was on one of our very first episodes when your homework was to watch a movie. I mean, how easy can it be?
So maybe I need to go see Nick and he can work with me on follow through.
There is a I was gonna say an episode. There is a scene in the Matrix, or the main thing in the Matrix of the characters is that they can learn any activities and they can learn anything on the spot just by introducing a code into their brains.
That would be really cool.
That'd be really cool, you know? How many things? What would be if you were able to do that? Let's say that Nick will be able to say, "Hey, Alice, forget the sugar. Give me something more deep."
I mean, I thought it was pretty deep.
No. Of what would you want to obtain if you go to hypnosis? That's what I meant. Come on.
That's hard.
Yeah.
It's a really deep question. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one.
Well,
What would you do if you were to be hypnotized?
if I were to be hypnotized and I would be able to choose anything to do, I would say I would want to be able to enjoy more, even the little defeats, you know? Not even the stuff that doesn't go my way.
It's called failing forward.
The lady that's going slower than me in front of the car, you know,
It's a lot of that anymore.
the person that didn't go as soon as the traffic light turned green, you know.
So you want to learn patience.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, you nail it. Yeah. Yeah. Patience. I like to.
See?
I would like to
He
really.
can hypnotize people, and I'm a psychic.
Well, more than patience, you know, there's always these little things in your regular life, in
Grace.
everyday life.
It's called grace, giving people grace.
Well,
When
it's
things don't go right, when they don't do what you want them to do, you give them grace for it and you move on.
It's not just about people either. You know, it's. I think it's what happened. How do you feel when it doesn't happen too often? But let's say that you submit an offer and you don't get it. How do you feel? Like I feel frustrated.
Yes.
Unmotivated. Like I lost. And sometimes,
Well, you did lose.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just
I don't like to lose.
I don't like it either. It's such a bad feeling.
It is a bad feeling.
But it's part of life.
It is.
You know, and
That's something Nick could help us with.
Yes.
Maybe we should have him in here for like a team coaching.
A group hypnosis session.
I didn't say hypnosis. I just meant business coaching.
I'm just obsessed with hypnosis.
I know. I can
not
tell.
obsessed. That's not the right word. But
Well, if you want to get in touch with Nick, he is taking new clients, patients, whatever the case may be, depending on what you need to work on. And you can look him up on his website, and you'll link all of that.
yeah, down here in the comments.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. That's 30 minutes on the nose.
See you next Wednesday.
See you next week.
That's right.
All
Bye.
right, bye.